Welcome to the Do Zone, where real entrepreneurs share real strategies about getting things done. I'm your host, Josh Thomas. Tag me at JT Literally and show me what you do in the Do Zone. Every week, I'll pick the best post to feature across all my social networks. This podcast is brought to you by Factor One. If you're a six-figure entrepreneur who's looking to hit 7 this year, there are 3 key shifts you need to make right now in order for that to be possible. Go to iamfactor1.com now, and I'll show you exactly what those 3 key shifts are and how you can get them set up for your business in less than 6 minutes. Once again, that's iamfactor1.com. Today's guest is Jones Loflin. With over 27 years of experience, Jones is a seasoned expert dedicated to empowering individuals and organizations overwhelmed by an abundance of tasks. Jones has devoted his life's work to helping people navigate the challenges of a busy world. Jones highlights how to improve your ability to focus and minimize time lost to distractions and the best approach to help others get the right work done. Jones, welcome to the Do Zone. Tell us something you believe is the key to getting stuff done that most people wouldn't think of.
I think my key, Josh, is that you have to take care of all 3 rings of your circus. How about we jump off there?
Take care of all 3 rings of your circus. All right, first, we got to unpack this.
Sure.
What are the 3 rings? Wait, why is it a circus?
I knew that was coming. Well, the genesis of that, several years ago, I wrote a book with Todd Music called Juggling Elephants. Is that we're trying to get everything done. It's heavy. It's like we're juggling elephants. And it came from an idea he and I had when we were working together one day. And he said, sometimes I just feel like I'm not doing my best work. I'm not getting the right stuff done at work. Yeah, we all struggle with that. And then he said, sometimes I just don't feel like I'm being a good spouse, partner, dad to my kids. Yeah, we all struggle with that. And then a few seconds later, he goes, I just never have time for myself. And he's like, what do I do about that? I'm like, I don't know. We all struggle with that. He says, sometimes I just feel like I need to run around like my life's some kind of circus. I said, stop. What did you say? And so I could open up a lot more, but that led to us talking about how could you manage your work and life like a circus so you got to those things that were most important. And that brought us to the 3 rings of work, self, and relationships. So now to bring it back to your original question, I believe that to get stuff done, you've got to be mindful of what's going on at work, what's going on for yourself, and what's going on in your relationships.
Work, self, relationships, and I've heard a lot of different kind of variations of that.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you're mentioning it, and whatever container we need to put it in to reach people is fine. If it's a 3-ring circus, cool. But a lot of it has to do with what's going on inside of you,
mm-hmm.
what's going on around you,
mm-hmm.
and what are you doing to produce opportunity. Right.
Yeah.
If we were to kind of like boil it down to the simplistic part of it. And that's something that you've kind of broken down. What's the key to getting stuff done? You got to make sure you're mastering all 3 rings of your circus. And first of all, you have to accept that it is a circus because, man, I wasted a decade, Jones, trying to reduce chance, to eliminate the chance and having to like improvise. I just want everything to go according to the plan. But that's not possible, man, is it?
Right. No. We talk about being the ringmaster of your circus a lot when we talk about productivity and the idea that you got to decide what you can control and what you can't control. And like you said, there's a lot of people, thank goodness you've realized what it means to be the ringmaster of your circus, but a lot of people don't stop and go, what am I in control of? And what's out of my control? And what am I taking opportunity to influence? I talk to people about, when people say to me, well, Jones, I'm not the ringmaster of my circus. I'm not in control of everything. How much of your day are you in control of? 20%, 10%, 5%? How are you using that time to get to work toward those results that are really important to you? So even if you are in a situation where you're really overwhelmed or have so much going on that you can't get to some of those other things, I think we all have 15 minutes or 30 minutes or an hour in our day that we could use more constructively to get to those better results that we're after.
Yeah. And, you mentioned like, hey, I'm not in control of my day, what happens to me. And, you never really are.
Right.
What's the only thing, Jones, that you really can control?
Yeah. It's yourself in response to what's happening to you. Yeah.
That's right. You can only control what you do or
Mm-hmm.
how you respond to what somebody else or something else does. That's it. That's all we got.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times just taking responsibility gives us that feeling of control. And so I'm curious, you have some tools that you've developed to help kind of create that harmony, which is kind of where this conversation seems to be going, is mastering that 3-ring circus, keeping a balance. How do we create that harmonious balance between work and life? Because I know us as entrepreneurs, 16-hour days are the norm, and it's almost glorified to an extent.
Yeah.
And so talk to me a little bit about what do you do to create not necessarily the separation, which is a different thing, but a harmony.
Yeah. One of the things that we find so often, Josh, is that people want to use the word balance so often. And if you go to a circus, rarely is it balanced. There's not the same level of activity in each one of the rings. There might be a whole lot going on in one ring, like the motorcycle ball of death, my favorite, act, and the other ring might even be dark. And then another one might have a small act. Come back in 5 minutes, and there's a different cadence, right? There's a different level of activity. I mean, entrepreneurs, you said it best. Sometimes it requires you to have 16-hour days for a week or maybe 2 weeks. So you've got all this stuff going on in your work ring. I think it's important to ask then, okay, when is that moment, or when is that weekend, or when is that day I'm going to say, you know what, today's for me? Instead of just continuing to, try to churn out work, it's time to jump over into the self ring, if you will, or the relationship ring, to renew your energy there so you can be your best back in those 16-hour days. So you ask about harmony. I think it's deciding, where do I need to be focusing my attention? Which ring? It's not about balance. It's about focusing in the right ring at the right moment. And maybe it is time for you to really knock out some 16-hour days. Okay, when are you going to stop doing that, get in those other rings to renew yourself?
You just added a ton of credence to your circus analogy that I would have, you just blew my mind, actually. You dropped the seed, man, and then you walked away for a little while, and then you came back over and you're like, hey, you see that seed? It's a tree now, and I'm like, it was awesome, man, because you're right. If I'm sitting there, I'm watching a circus, and I got the elephants, you got a shirt on that says Juggling Elephants. And I'm watching the elephants do their thing. I don't really care what's happening in the other 2 rings. We might as well shut them down, make them dark, focus on the one thing. But that doesn't mean that those rings go away.
Right.
It doesn't mean we don't use that space. And maybe if there's some little minor act and it's not everybody's interested in that, so we'll do the juggler in one, and we'll do the fire breather in another, and then people can choose. But when we've got major stuff going on, we got to get the other stuff out of the way, and that priority changes from time to time. Wow, that's great, man. I love that.
Well, thank you. And it's just something, it's so, it blew our mind. It still blows my mind too when I think about it, because what do we try to do? We try to, be pumping out all the work we can. And then, oh yeah, I really need to be spending time with my family or my friends. Oh, I wish I was exercising an hour a day. Maybe that's not reality for you right now, for that entrepreneur. Maybe this is that season when you really need to be focused there, but just kind of keeping an eye to, when am I going to stop and, jump over that other ring and get that energy renewed? Because even within the circus, I mean, think about a tightrope walker. We've all seen those before. Think about that bar that they hold that helps them to stay balanced. It doesn't go like this. It's like, and they walk a little bit and it's, and so there's going to be these massive shifts, and that's okay. If by the time the performance is over, we've seen great acts in all 3 rings.
That's right.
Over a month, over a year. Yeah.
And Tim Grover says that balance doesn't even exist.
Oh, it's a static state when things are not changing. When's the last time? 4th grade for you, Josh?
Yeah. So, well, you even gave I mean, we could go all day on this circus thing, but you're talking about the tightrope and the bar, and it's called the balancing act. It's called that, but there is no balance happening. Well, not in the way that we might think about.
Right.
That balance is a series of constant small adjustments.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening on the tightrope. It's a constant small adjustments. Tim was right. That person is not balanced. They're just constantly compensating for the fact that they're about to fall.
Yeah, that's a great way to look at it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And they do it way better than either one of us probably could.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
So talk to me a little bit about what is it that you do, and who do you serve, and how can we learn more about it?
Absolutely. Thanks, Josh. Yeah, as you said in your intro, for 20 plus years, I've been a keynote speaker and used to do a lot of work around training. Primarily, I'm in two buckets now. I'm in keynote speaking for organizations and conferences. And then the other one is coaching. In about 2016, I got certified as a professional coach simply because I love the rush of working with individuals one-on-one. I mean, you know that it's amazing how when you can walk with someone through a season and how you can help them grow and develop. And so those are the two spaces that I prefer to be in. And again, the topic is around overload, work-life success, time management, productivity. Those are usually the space that people ask me to help them with. And then there's also another element of leadership that I do, where I have some other analogies that I use for especially first-time leaders to help them to manage their time more effectively.
Nice. And so tell us where we can go to learn a little bit more.
Absolutely. It all starts at jonesloflin.com. Would love for your listeners to go check me out there. I also put out a lot of content on LinkedIn. A lot of my audience is there. A lot of my people that I'm connected with are there. Put out ideas and tips. So I'd love for them to go over, if they're on LinkedIn, to go over there and connect with me there. Those are two main places they can go and find more information about me. And then if they have interest in anything that I have, there's also resources, downloads, blog page as well at my website, where they can take that next step to get more standing ovations in their circus, which is what we talk about. So,
of course, I love it. JonesLoflin.com, and also on LinkedIn, Jones Loflin. Yeah,
absolutely.
Right. Excellent. Love that. So, hey, we're going to wrap up for today. Thank you so much to Jones Loflin for sharing a little bit of wisdom about how he gets things done and how you can be the master of your 3-ring circus. We're going to wrap up from here. If you want to learn more about Jones, you can go to LinkedIn and find him there, or you can go to jonesloflin.com. That's Loflin. If you listen to us on your morning commute or during your workout or somewhere out in the field, be sure to snap a selfie and tag me at JT Literally. Tell me what you do in the do zone. Also, if you're ready to break the 7-figure barrier in your business, but you know what got you here ain't going to get you there, we can help. Go to imfactor1.com now, and let's see how much impact we can make in less than 6 minutes. Know this: you are Factor 1 for your own success. Now let's get to work.